Hey, today we're going to talk about film and film cameras, everybody's favorite topic. In this video, we're going to test out 4 different styles of film cameras and discuss what film stock might be the best option for each camera. Of course, there are hundreds of different types of cameras out there. We have been making cameras for a very long time after all, but there are general categories of film cameras, and I want to talk about that today. So if you're confused about what you want to look for when you're buying a film camera, this video is for you. These cameras are from the B&H Use department, and I'm so looking forward to shooting with all of these. So let me break down the categories. We're going to start off with a classic SLR. In this case, the AT1 from Canon, and this one takes 35mm film. There are many different versions of this build. SLR stands for single lens reflex, and it uses a mirror and a prism system to allow the photographer to see exactly what will be captured on film through the viewfinder. The photographer has full control over settings such as focus, aperture, and shutter speed, rather than relying on automatic features. These cameras require the user to manually load the film, advance it after each shot, and adjust all the settings to get to the correct exposure. And because they are so manual, they're very reliable and pretty easy to fix, and usually very hard to actually break. Next, we have a Mamiya 6. This is a medium format rangefinder. Let me break that down. Medium format means it takes 120 film, which is a larger film negative. We'll take a closer look at that later in the video. This is a type of camera that uses a rangefinder mechanism to assist in focusing. Unlike SLR cameras, rangefinders don't have a mirror or prism system. Instead, they use a separate viewfinder window for composing the shot, and the photographer adjusts the focus until the images align, indicating that the subject is in focus. And because a rangefinder doesn't use a mirror, they're oftentimes a lot smaller and quieter, which might make them preferable for street photographers or documentary photographers. Next, we have one of my favorite categories, the point-and-shoot 35mm camera. This one is the Olympus Trip AF50. This is a super common style of camera because it's so easy to use, creates really awesome photos, and is reliable for people who might like the film look, but don't necessarily want to mess with all the film technicalities. These cameras have autofocus, flash, and they automatically advance the film and rewind it at the end of the roll for you. Oh, this is so pretty, oh my god. Whoa. And then basically on the other end of the spectrum, we have this big and beautiful, fully manual studio camera, which is also an SLR. It's the Mamiya RB67. This camera functions very similar to the Canon AT1 we mentioned in the beginning because it uses the same mirror and prism mechanism. The difference is that this camera exposes a huge area of 120 film, giving it just an exceptionally amazing image quality. This camera is huge and heavy, which is why it's usually used in a studio setting on a tripod. But this is what we go to the gym for, so we'll be taking it out and about. I think a great film for an SLR is Portrait 400 because it has a high exposure latitude, which just means that you can mess up your exposure a bit and still get a great image. It makes it easy to shoot in many different lighting conditions, and people love the rich colors Portrait produces. I personally really like shooting portraits on an SLR with Portrait 400 because it does really well with skin tones. On our medium format rangefinder, we're using Ektar 100. Ektar 100 is a great film for a medium format rangefinder because of its ultra fine grain and vibrant color saturation, which makes the most out of the high resolution capabilities of medium format. Because of the low ISO of just 100, there's a ton of sharpness and detail, perfect for capturing landscapes, architecture, and still life with a stunning clarity. I think this pairs exceptionally well with the rangefinder because you can focus so precisely, and on a large negative you can get an amazing dynamic range and tonal depth. And now for the point and shoot. I'd go with an affordable classic film stock for this style of camera, either Kodak Gold or even Fuji 400. These are super versatile and easy to use, and with vibrant colors and good contrast, even in varied lighting conditions. With its forgiving exposure latitude, it produces consistently good results, making it ideal for casual, spontaneous photography where settings can't be manually adjusted. And because these are so affordable and reliable, I think this is a great choice for snapshots where you want bright and lively images with basically no effort. And now for the big camera. I'm pairing the RB67 with a different kind of film. The Ektachrome 100 film is a slide film, also known as a color reversal or transparency film, which means that this is not a negative, but produces a positive image directly on the film, which can be viewed as slides or projected. This gives the images amazing, vivid colors and high contrast, which is perfect for photographers who want to create striking, professional quality transparencies with the depth and clarity that the RB67 can deliver. It's definitely more difficult to get the exposure correct with slide film, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for beginners, but I think that if you're shooting with a camera like that, you're probably not a beginner anyways. So this is how I would pair different film stocks with these types of cameras, but don't forget there are no rules and you can test out whatever film stock with whatever camera you like. We have a ton of different film here at B&H, and I'm still learning every time I load a film into a camera. I think there are as many opinions out there as there are photographers, and I would love to hear yours. What do you think is the best film and camera combination? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.